Guys, how are you? Good morning. I know to others it's good evening, I think, maybe good afternoon. Thank you for joining me today on my live. The question I'm asking in the poll today is: have you ever been to a diner? And the reason I'm asking this is because I'm talking about culture shock. Okay, and oh, this is. Mm-hmm. So I think that most of us have experienced culture shock at some point in life. I don't know what is stuck in my throat. Yeah, but like I was saying, I know that most of us have experienced culture shock at some point in our lives. And this normally happens when you travel to a place or you're living in a place which is like new to you. um, it could be a different city, it could be a different country, a different continent even, yeah. And culture shock is just a state of confusion and anxiety, sometimes also with feelings of anxiety that may affect people who are exposed to like an alien culture or environment, yeah. So it's a normal thing. It happens even to the best of us. So it's really nothing to be ashamed of or to be worried about. I think just like anything new in life, you just need to know that you're experiencing something new, and also just look for ways to adapt or incorporate that in your lifestyle, or just to, yeah, to learn so that it could make your transition easier. All right. And by transition, I mean transition into like this new environment, a new culture, people, and the reason I have posed the question asking if you've ever been to a diner is because I moved here to be with my husband, and I'm experiencing quite a few things that are like totally new to me, and I'm enjoying the ride. Some of them are like, taking me time to like really adjust. Yeah, because it's a whole new culture, totally new place, miles and miles away from home. So my diner experience so far has been very lovely. I think I have been to maybe up to now. I think I've been to four, like four diners. Yeah, the three diners were more or less the same. One had a totally different concept. You walk into the diner and there is a store which is beautiful and colorful, and they sell all these beautiful things. Yeah, and it's set in such like a homely environment. Yeah, you go in. So through the store, you just think, oh, that maybe this is a store. But as you walk into the restaurant or into the diner, yeah, as you walk into the diner, there's this huge fireplace, and then they have all these artifacts that act like part of the decor. It's beautiful. Reminded me of, home, especially since I was seeing some stuff that I could relate to. And I bought this journal from the store. I just love the colors and the flowers. I love bright colors. Yes, that was a good experience. So where I come from in Kenya, we don't have this concept of a diner, you know. And what I saw here is so we would like wake up, and on those days where we just don't want to go through the fast of preparing breakfast, we go to the diner, or maybe sometimes we're on an early drive and we didn't have the chance to have breakfast. So when we come across one on any of the highways, we just, you know, go in and have our breakfast. So just the thought of waking up, dressing up, and going to a diner to have breakfast, it is completely foreign to me, totally new to me. It's something that I didn't even ever think of, right? Yeah, so my first experience, it was just a little bit awkward that I was leaving my home, going to have breakfast, then coming back. Normally, I would have breakfast at the hotels, but this would be like when I'm staying at the hotel, and breakfast is like part of the package, or if not, on days that I feel lazy and sleep in, I just go to the restaurant and order breakfast. Yeah. So the diner experience to me was like totally new, completely foreign, and I'm enjoying it, right? Yeah. Um, so I will go way back a little bit and just share what I believe was like my very first culture shock experience. Yeah. So this was when I arrived in Dubai for the first time. First of all, the airport was huge. It was the biggest airport I had ever, you know, flown into. And I was so confused. Yeah, I was looking like someone who's like totally lost. It was a very emotional time for me as well. And it was a new beginning for me. It symbolized a new beginning. I was turning a whole, you know, page to a new different chapter in my life. And so I was filled with as much excitement as I was with anxiety. And this was the first time that I was very far away from home. Actually, yeah, I had, up to that time, that was my longest flight, to be honest. Yeah. From Nairobi, JKIA, that's the airport in Nairobi, to Dubai, DXB airport was, I think, around 4.5 hours to 5 hours. Yeah. Because there's a time difference of an hour between the two countries, right? Yeah. So I can't remember which one is 4.5, and but on one of the legs of travel, one is 4.5, the other one is 5 hours. All right. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. What I'm trying to establish is that this was my longest flight. Oh, not flight. That was my longest flight at that time. And yeah, I was I honestly, I didn't know what to expect. I was going to stay with a friend of mine at the time. So she was to pick me from the airport. And so I felt like a sense of safety and security. And, you know, I thought I would have like a little bit familiarity because it's someone I know, and she would help me maneuver and stuff like that. So, as fate would have it, I arrived at the airport, and she was not able to pick me up at the time. And she just asked me to like get a taxi and gave me the address. So that was something I was not really expecting. Yeah, because I'm in a new country, new city, far away from home. At this time, this was the largest, biggest airport I had ever been to. And uh, there were just so many things going on at the same time. And I didn't know how to call her at the time, you know. I tried roaming. I was trying to call. For some reason I could not. So I think I ended up, maybe, I don't know how I called though. Yeah, I figured out a way. I could have, I think maybe I bought like the SIM card and called. Yeah, I think maybe that's what happened. And so I was super confused. I stepped out, and when you're seeing all the vehicles for the first time, it's totally confusing, you know, because there were taxis, like yellow taxis. There were like white vehicles, like different colors of vehicles. And at that time, I didn't know what was what. I was just so confused. And this person walks up to me, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a taxi driver. I can get you to that place, blah blah blah." All right, so mistake number one, I just went with the guy, and I came to realize that his was really not a branded taxi. But it was too late. I'd already put my luggage into the vehicle. And so we left the airport. But then he was making like stops to pick people. And that didn't really sit well with me. So I think I called my friend again, and I just I was on the phone with her because I wasn't like really sure if I was safe or anything like that, especially being a lady traveling alone. You always have to be on the lookout. Yeah. And everything went well. Yeah, so he took me to my then friend's place. And so yes, Strawberry, I remember you. How are you? I just woke up, so I think that's why my voice is like, of course I remember you. Yeah. So that was like my first, like, whoa, culture shock. Like, that one, I felt it. I really felt it because everything was new. When you're in a new place and everything looks new and super foreign and stuff like that, I don't know. It's just like a lot of things going on. And yeah, so that was my first experience with culture shock, very far away from home. And then there was the food. Okay, so when I got there, my then friend was staying, with people from different countries. So let me just give you the context. Up to that point, I had only maybe interacted with people from Uganda and Tanzania, because those are our neighboring countries. But this was my first time to interact. Oh, you love food? Me too. I do. I love food. Yeah, so this was my first time to interact with people from like different countries. So at that time, she was staying with people from Nigeria, and another lady was from Ethiopia. And yeah, so when I got there, first of all, it was just the living situation. Let me start from there. Yeah. I wasn't really used to that kind of setup. In Kenya, you stay in your hut or in your house or your home or apartment, yeah, and you have neighbors, yeah. So in this kind of setup, it was, yes, it was an apartment, but in the apartment, so the different rooms were like different um people or families. I really don't know how to put it. I really can't say families because it was like so different people rented out different rooms. This, oh, you do. Thank you, I like it too. I like my chocolate too, yeah. So there were like different so let's say, for example, an apartment has like a living room and two bedrooms. So you have like different people living in those rooms. Yeah. Hi, I just joined. Thank you, your local hijabi. Thank you. And please feel free to subscribe as well. So there were different rooms, and then it's like, so it's not like a normal house or normal apartment where it's like one family, and every room has a different function. No. In this kind of setup, every different rooms were taken up by different people. So basically, the only place you could all meet was like the kitchen. So the kitchen was a public kitchen for everyone. Also, so new to me. I wasn't used to that kind of setup. So it took me a while to adjust. Up to now, I can't say that I got used to that. No. Um, yeah, it's just a different kind of living that I don't think um, is really good and healthy in the long term, you know. But we people have to do what they have to do. So sometimes you make do with whatever situation you're in, so long as you're under a roof. And yeah, so that was a totally huge culture shock for me, because in Dubai, housing is very expensive, very expensive. For you to live comfortably, you really need to have a very good job. And even in terms of rent, compared to Kenya, it's like a huge difference. So you could be earning a salary in Dubai that would afford you an very comfortable lifestyle in Kenya. But in Dubai, you'd be living like, yeah, I don't know which word to use. Yeah. So basically, I think it comes with like differences in currencies and economies, because the Dubai economy is like way up there compared to the Kenyan one, right? Yeah. So I think we have to factor all of those into place. Yeah, so that was a different way of living, for me. Um, and so the first time I was there, we were to eat Nigerian food. So I had only seen Nigerian food on TV. And I was so excited. I was super excited because when we were young, we used to watch Nigerian movies. And I was so excited to like try their food. Yes, I'm having a good day. I hope you're having a good day too, Hijabi. Yeah, so yeah, I was so excited to try, this the different cuisine. I really love food. So when they gave me when I was, presented with the food, I just like dug in. One thing, it was spicy, and I really have a liking for spicy food, but I didn't know how spicy Nigerian food is. So I just dug in, and when I swallowed my first bite, I was like, let me just say, I thought I was dying at that point because it was so spicy and I ate it too fast. I could barely breathe. I was sweating. I could barely move. And I'm thankful for my friend then and the people I was with then. They acted swiftly and gave me the palm oil to drink. It didn't taste good, but when you're at the verge of, almost dying, like at the brink of death, you do anything to stay alive. Yeah. So I drank the palm oil and I was fine. And I continued enjoying the food, but carefully this time, just taking small bites. Yeah. And so I really enjoyed Nigerian meals, and then Ethiopian meals as well. Very delicious and super hot and spicy. Yeah. So the adjustment in terms of the food, it took me a while to like really try and get used to different cuisines. And Dubai for me was the introduction to so many different cuisines that I think, had I just stayed in Kenya, I wouldn't have had the privilege to experience that. And I got to experience it also from people who actually live in those countries. So not only from like a restaurant, it would be like a Filipino making a Filipino meal for me. Oops, yeah. Filipino preparing a Filipino meal and we enjoy it together. A Nigerian the same, Ghanaian the same. So it was very refreshing, and Ethiopian as well, to like really eat these amazing dishes and foods from people who were actually born and bred in those countries, and they stayed true to their way of cooking and their way of life. So yeah, that was a pleasant experience for me. And the other thing that was quite a bit difficult and I really struggled with for a long time is living with people from different cultures and backgrounds who speak different languages, and also working with people from like all over the world. When I tell you that you find literally almost every country represented in Dubai, yes, I am telling you the truth. It's amazing. It's one of those things that I think is just so beautiful. It's like a wonder for me, you know? Yeah, because in what country do you find people from literally almost every country, in the globe? One, I'll just give you a few examples. Myanmar, I never knew that that was a country, never heard of it while I was in Kenya. Uzbekistan, Bhutan, and I got to meet people from these countries, got to interact with them, experience a little bit of their culture, and I was just like, wow. So that's the beautiful side of it. The downside was that just trying to get along with people, like for example at my workplace, we would be like at work and it's like everyone is from a different country. How crazy is that? So everyone is brought up in a different way. Everyone believes different things. So a lot of clashing goes on before you all like really mesh and get to understand one another. But I'm really glad I went through that experience because it really helped me to like really know how to live with people from different countries. It shaped me, sharpened me, you know, really took me through it. Yeah. And and I can say now I can like literally just work with anyone, with anybody, Yeah. So that was a huge culture shock for me. Yeah. Huge culture shock. Then I got to meet people from different Arab countries, someone from I worked with a colleague from Jordan, one of my former bosses who I love to date is from Turkey. Yeah. Some colleagues were from Syria, Egypt. I've met people from Saudi Arabia. Now, I think I've met people from so many countries, different countries. And when we talk and interact, they share about talk about their countries. And yeah, it's one of those things that I am really grateful that I got to experience. And yeah, I don't think I would have experienced it in any other place in the world. It would only be Dubai because I still think to date Dubai is literally like the only place in the world where you find people from almost every corner of this earth. You think of a country, and you just might meet someone from that country in Dubai. It could be in the train, at the beach, at work, in your grocery store, in your neighborhood. Yeah, so that is very interesting. And then the accents are all over the place. Sometimes it's really difficult to understand what the other person is saying. And so you have to like be really patient, be a very good listener. Yeah, Dubai taught me to be a good listener, I'll be honest. Because when I was just coming in from Kenya and going there, I really wasn't a good listener, to be honest. I was, because unfortunately, for people who like really like talking, sometimes balancing the listening act can be a little bit difficult. And yeah, that was me a few years back. And now, yeah, I can, pride myself in knowing that I listen, and I really try as much as possible to catch myself sometimes when I tend to go down that slippery slope of not listening. And listening is good, when you listen, you really get to learn a lot. You really get to know the other person, and also just increase, in knowledge and wisdom. Yeah. So Dubai did that for me, and I'm grateful. Yeah. The other huge culture shock for me was the infrastructure. Coming from Kenya, I think I've been in a train once, and it was like an old train, and so coming to Dubai and just seeing this, you know, huge metro system. That's how they call their trains, metros. And I was in awe. I was shocked. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, yeah. And that was a good one for me. Yeah, because I didn't know how easy and simple and seamless public transportation would be, you know, and the train, the train system in Dubai is super efficient. You get onto the metro, it's very clean, well maintained, very organized. Yeah, so that I really loved, and I could easily move from point A to point B easily without really spending a fortune, because we all know taxis can be quite expensive. Yeah, and I was not driving, so that was a huge relief for me. And also their buses. So the buses, I was also like in shock, and I had to adjust very quickly. In fact, the first time I used the bus, I was by myself. I didn't know how to go about it. So someone had helped me like buy the bus card. So they have what is called a null card, and that one is like used to pay for your fares in Dubai. So you just need to load your card, and essentially it acts as your transport credit card, right? And yeah, so you load your card. So going into the bus, I didn't know what to do with it, right? So I was there at the bus station, just trying to like, so at every point of the bus station, most of them, not all of them though, they have like it's like a cubicle. I don't know how to call it, like a shelter. It's covered with AC, so that's good, especially during summer when it's very hot. And they have like the bus schedule, and you can see what time what bus comes. And then they also have the routes, so you can see, yeah, which route the bus is taking or which bus you need to take. Yeah, and the first time I had to like really observe and ask, and that's how I learned how to use the bus card for the first time. Yeah, because in Kenya, it's a totally different situation. We have what is called the matatus, and that's just a different way of moving. Yeah, so we use cash there, and this was so different. No cash accepted. You have to load your card, and you have to, pay before you get in. Failure to which you get fined, and it's a lot of money, so it's really not worth it, especially for people who try to get free rides. Yeah. And yeah, so, and also, that was the first time I was in, like, they call it like a double decker bus. Where you can also, there's also like the upper deck where you can sit. Yeah, so that was really, really interesting to me. Yeah. And I loved it. I enjoyed it because it really made transportation easier, to be honest. Yeah. And you could safely reach to your destination. Sometimes when there were a lot of people, you maybe would not get a seat and you'd have to stand. So it also helped to know when the rush hour was, or when it, yeah, so that you can plan your travel accordingly. Yeah. So just many different new things, for me. Yeah, the transport system for sure, the food, yes, people from all over the world, the currency, dirhams, yeah. So I stayed, and this is no cap, I stayed for a whole week without buying anything from the grocery store. Yeah, thankfully I was staying with people then, so I was able to like have something to eat. But the reason was the prices were just so different. First of all, they were in like a new currency for me, different currency, right? In Kenya, we have shillings. In United Arab Emirates, it's dirhams. And I was like, okay, so I'm seeing like new money, Yeah, so I have to get used to that, and I have to get used to it like quick. And then I also need to like be able to translate the value and know you know what that equates to in the currency that I've known all my life. Confusing again. It wasn't my first time to handle like foreign currency. I've definitely handled like Ugandan shillings and Tanzanian shillings, but dirhams is just a whole different ball game, you know? And the reason I could not even bring myself to buy anything from the store was that when I calculated uh, or let me say this way, when I converted the dirhams into shillings, I was in shock because it was like too expensive. I was like, ain't no way I'm spending this amount of money when I could get it in Kenya for like almost a quarter of the price. So I would just not bring myself to it. I was like, no, 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 this is crazy. But then after a week, I had to realize that I'm now in a different country. I'm in a whole new different world, and I can't keep, you know, referring back to how things are in Kenya, you know. That is Kenya, and this at the time for me is United Arab Emirates. So I needed to adjust and adjust quick. And that is a lesson I've learned to date. Even now that I am dealing, in dollars, I refuse to bring myself to convert because I would just go crazy. I would go literally just crazy. So I just refuse. I'm just like, right now, this is the currency, that I have to just focus and forget about all the other currencies. because now coming here, I have, Kenya shillings. I will always think in Kenyan shillings because that's where I was born and brought up for the longest part of my life, thus far. So there's always Kenyan shillings in my mind. And then the dirhams, of course, because up until last year, end of last year, I was using, dirhams, yeah. Yeah, so now I have like dirhams, Kenya shillings in my mind, dirhams in my mind. Now it's dollars, US dollars. Okay, I've interacted with US dollars before, but not at the rates at which I have to now, because now it's the currency I use like on a daily basis. Before, I would only use US dollars as, to travel with, because for some reason when you have your currency in US dollars, it really helps to buffer, you against like crazy loss in the value of your currency. So many people are really opt to use, the dollar, especially when you're traveling to a different place. Yeah. And this I learned when I was traveling, back and forth between uh, Kenya and the United Arab Emirates. Anyway, yeah, so I'm saying all this to say that currency can be a great shocker. And many people still struggle with it. Yeah, I don't think you really like fully get over it. Sometimes you're tempted to do the conversion and you immediately regret why you did it because yeah, it's insane. It's crazy. Yeah. Okay, what other thing? Did I want to talk about? I want to talk about something and I totally just forgotten about it. There was something that was coming in mind about the culture shock. Oh my gosh, what is it? What is it? What is happening to my brain? What is happening to my brain? Guys, please, you can continue voting. Let me know if you've ever been to a diner. Oh, that's great. 100% have been to a diner. And if you're new here, just show me some love by subscribing. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I really wanted to talk about something. What happened? Sometimes I get these brain freezes. That's how I call them. And it's so annoying because you really know you want to talk about something or you want to do something and you totally forget and then you remember it afterwards. What was it though? What was it that I wanted to talk about? Hmm? I've talked about the food, the people, infrastructure. Oh, I've remembered. Yay, yay. I've remembered. Ooh, ooh. So, the other thing that was like a shocker to me and I struggled with for the longest time while I was in Dubai was like my hair. Okay. So, as a Kenyan, as an African, yeah, um, my hair texture is like, I think maybe now 4C, I'm not sure. I've never really done that test to know. Yeah, but basically, what happens with my hair is, for example, this would be like my hair length. And when I wash it, it would shrink and curl up to this length, like even more than half of it, right? It would be like this. So, and then for me to like comb it out, I have to like be really tender with it because I don't want to like break the curls or break my hair. Yeah, so basically with the African hair, you really need to like take time with it, be kind to it. You just can't pull, you know. Yeah, and normally it's best if you get like a fellow African to do your hair because the assumption is like they really know your hair because they have the same hair, and so they will treat it with the kindness and the care that it deserves. All right. So I've come to Dubai. I don't. So what I did before moving to Dubai is that I bought a wig, because I was thinking like by the time I would settle down and find a salonist that I'm comfortable with, I would just put on the wig until then. So my scalp is very sensitive, like super sensitive, but my hair is tough, 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 tough. So that's also a challenge for me and anyone who does my hair, because you need to like make sure, because the hair is tough, you have to use like just, a little bit of energy to make sure that it's combed out well and stuff like that. But at the same time, you need to be super careful, because you can't really just pull on my hair like that, because my scalp is super sensitive and I could end up having migraines or being super uncomfortable. Yeah. So anyway, in Kenya, I never had this trouble because there are so many people who know how to do hair. So many people. Sometimes you don't even need to step out of your neighborhood, right? So many people know how to do hair. Like people literally come even to your place to do your hair. So it's very, very convenient back home. Yeah, and super affordable too. You don't even have to think about the price twice. In Dubai, I came to find out the hard way. So the first time I wanted to do braids, because I really love braids. The reason I love braids, I find them like super easy to maintain. I can just wake up and go. For example, even if I want to swim or go to the beach, I don't have to worry about my hair. Yeah, because I can always just dry it out. So I'm always like, braids are always my go-to style. Come to find out that in Dubai, the hairpiece was like maybe, let's say how much, even maybe almost 6 7 times the price back home, sometimes even 10 times depending on who you're buying it from. I was like, what? You have to be kidding me. Imagine paying for something like more than 6 7 times what you'd pay for when you're back home. I was like, this is crazy. You have to be kidding me. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. But then again, what do? You're in a new country. I can't fly back home to go do my hair. It doesn't make any economical sense. So I was like, okay, I'm here, so this is what I need to do. Come to the amount you pay, for service. Oh my god. I was like, what? Wait a minute. The amount of money I was paying for my hair was enough for my rent when I was back in Kenya. Even more sometimes, depending on what you want to do. I was like, oh my God, what is this? What is this? Yeah. So that was like a huge shock. I was like, it took me such a long time to just wrap my mind around it. I never really got used to it, because the amount I was paying in Kenya, I would do my hair for like, let's say if I did my hair in Dubai maybe once or twice, that would be enough for the whole year plus when I'm back home. But then again, what do? You're a lady, you need to look good and presentable, you need to take care of your hair. So yeah, that was something that was like, ooh. And then, so when I finally accepted that that's the price that is charged, because it's a different country and things are different, and I had to get to terms with that. What really upset me and frustrated me though was that the hairstylist there would not do hair the way it's done in Kenya. Needs perfection. Like, in Kenya, when I walk out of the salon, I'm like confident and I know my hair is done well. And but in Dubai, it was a struggle. Sometimes you pay the money, you know, that they ask you for, and rightly so, because that's the going price there. But then, girl, at least do my hair well, nicely, at least make me look good. I struggled to get like a good salonist. It was a hassle. It was a hassle until I finally got like my friend referred me to a Ghanaian salonist who was doing her hair. Yeah, she's American, and so she found the Ghanaian hair who understood her hair and would do her hair for her. So she was like, "Oh, you should, you know." So I tried her, and she's really amazing. Yeah, so she knew how to do my hair, and then I also, you know, met another Ghanaian who did hair really nicely. So those were like two people that I would go to, and I was happy. Yeah, but it took me years, like maybe 3 years or four, to be able to get a good hairstylist. No, that's crazy. Before that, I was moving from one place to another, one place to another. Yeah, and really not getting the satisfaction that I was looking for. Yeah. And then yeah, there was one time, this was really crazy. One time I ran into a Ugandan girl that I knew, and she knows how to make hair like really really well. Yeah, because she had made my hair back in the day. Yeah, so I, you know, I made an appointment with her and she did my hair one time also. Yeah, so that's, I think, for us Africans is the one thing in the culture shock experience that we really struggle with. And I came to find out it's not only in Dubai, it's in different countries. Here now, it's even more expensive than it was in Dubai. It's like it's just getting more expensive. I'm like, ah. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm comparing it to what I know. Yeah, I'm comparing it to my country, Kenya. And that's why, like in many groups on social media, when you come across posts that do with hair, you find that a lot of women, African women, really learn how to do their own hair, you know, because sometimes it's maybe you're in that phase of your life where you can't afford to do your hair, and you'd rather you put that money to, you know, a different use or something like that. So some people learn how to do their hair, some people put on wigs. I tried wigs, but I really don't think I'm a wig person, because I just like to wake up and go. To be honest, I'm lazy when it comes to my hair. I'm so lazy. Oh, yeah, I just want to wake up and go, wake up and go. I don't want to spend even more than 30 minutes on my hair. 30 minutes is a long time. I don't even want to spend more than 5 minutes on my hair. Mm-mm. I do not want to do that. The most I want to spend is maybe 10 while styling my hair. I just cannot bring myself to style my hair for like 30 minutes every day, or 20 minutes, or 15 minutes at a, that is why most of the times you'll just see me with my braids. I know sometimes I also crave for a change, but yeah, I'm going with what works for me, what I can maintain. So I just have my braids, and my braids have been working fine for me. Yeah, and at some point, I think it happened maybe twice in Dubai. I shaved my hair, like shaved it like this up to my scalp. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. The last time I shaved my hair that way and I went to work, the general manager was so confused when she saw me. She came up to me and she's like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay? Is everything fine?" which was really sweet of her. Yeah, because you know, some people, maybe when you shave your hair that way, they maybe think you're going through like a terminal illness, or like you're not in a good mental space. But that day I woke up, I was like, I'm tired of doing hair. I just want to feel, you know, sometimes you just want to feel the breeze on your scalp. Hmm? You just want to feel good. And I'm feeling good. Yeah. So I shaved my head. Oh, and I think also the other thing that really motivated me to do that was like, my hair was really damaged at that point, because I had used a lot of color in my hair, and uh, I had relaxed my hair, so there was like a lot of chemicals in my hair, and I just wanted like a fresh new start. I just wanted to have natural hair, and so that's why I did that. So yeah, hair is and will continue being a challenge so long as I'm moving to different, you know, countries. Yeah, it's only when I'm back home in Kenya that I'm super relaxed. I don't have to worry, and I know I won't spend much doing my hair. Yep, so that is it with my culture shock experiences. Thank you guys for voting. I can see everyone who joined in has been to a diner, so that's good. I'll share with you all my diner experience. In fact, maybe I'll just go there with all of you and show you my whole experience. Yeah, I think we will do that. Yeah. So, all right. Unless you have any questions, any comments, any thoughts, any comments you want to share about your culture shock experiences? Anybody? Anyone? Anyone? Any? Oh, before I go, the one that I can't forget to mention is here now. I need to drive. I love being a passenger princess all day, every day. I just want to chill and not have to worry about anything. I don't want to be looking ahead, looking in the rear view mirror, looking in the side mirrors, and focusing on the road. It's a lot of work. It is. And kudos, hats off to all drivers out there, to everyone who drives. Much respect. But now I have to move from the passenger's seat. I am no longer a passenger princess full time. So I have to drive. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. I don't know. Some people enjoy driving. I think I'm one of those few people who don't. I really don't enjoy driving, you know? I just want to be in the seat, chill. I want to relax when I need to. I want to sleep when I need to sleep. And then I worry too much, you know? I worry about, you know, my safety when I'm driving, like my safety, the safety of the other people. I feel like it's a huge responsibility on my shoulders. And so one thing I'm going to miss about Dubai is that I never had to drive, and I still lived comfortably and happy, and in terms of transportation, that is. Yeah, so here now that I have to drive, I just need to adjust, and who knows, maybe I'll come to enjoy it. Yeah. So I have many, many, many stories about culture shock. I could go on forever. Yeah. But I think I've shared, you know, a lot of experiences that I've gone through, and I don't know if y'all can relate. Maybe you can relate, maybe not, or maybe you'll experience this in future. Yeah, but what I can say is that overall, it's a very good thing to experience. It might be daunting in the moment, if uncomfortable, even frustrating. Especially when it comes to language barrier, you can feel like so frustrated. because you come to realize that not everyone in the world speaks fluent English. Yeah. I was under the assumption that, everyone would speak English, even if it's just basic English, because in Kenya, English is our official language and Swahili is our national language. So if you've gone through the schooling system, you speak English. Yeah, you might not be fluent in it, but at least you can hold a conversation. But I came to find out in Dubai that it's not the same case for everyone. There are people who are in countries where they don't speak English at all. And so when you interact with such a person, it's very difficult. And thank God for Google Translate. What would we do without it? So I've encountered people who don't speak even a word, of English. And at first it was so frustrating for myself and the other person, I believe, as well, because we just had to rely on like the Google Translate, and sometimes Google wasn't 100% accurate. So you'd end up saying things that mean like, are so ridiculous. Yeah. So yeah, language barrier is a thing. Yeah, it really opens your eyes when you travel, when you meet new people. I think it's something that every one of us should experience at some point in our lives. It really opens up your mind, your worldview changes, you see things differently. Yeah, because you're able to meet different characters, different people. Sometimes even what you watch in the news might not necessarily be what's going on in those people's daily lives. So just to hear it directly from them, it's refreshing. It's, yeah. So, and then it changes your perception about a lot of things, because maybe you've been thinking this way, just like in a linear way, but then you meet different people and they share their stories. And yeah, you just get a lot of knowledge and wisdom, which helps, I believe, to live a fuller life. And I am grateful I went through that. I know that here I am yet to experience a whole lot more, and I am looking forward to it. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing. For my subscribers, I thank you so much for always coming back to hang out with me and interact with me. For the new subscribers, I hope that you make this your home. And thank you so much for showing me a lot of love. And I will see you all later on in the day. Goodbye.